Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Entertainment News. In a few moments, we're going to talk about the news about Tron 3. Apparently, Jeff Bridges is coming back to reprise his role, or perhaps play some other role. But before we get there, a few things for you to do. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. We are fast approaching that number. We need your help. What can you do? Subscribe, of course, but also hit the alert bell, like, comment, leave supers, become a member for $2.99 a month. Show the algorithm that you love us. Yes, Tron ARES cast adds Jeff Bridges to reprise Kevin Flynn role. Second film didn't go over perhaps as well as they had hoped, but I quite liked it, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. Jeff Bridges recently revealed that he would be appearing in the upcoming Tron ARES, where he'll likely be reprising his role as Kevin Flynn. I think he could play just about anybody in the movie, given the nature of the digital world. Bridges recently appeared on the Film Comment podcast, where he let it slip that he's set to travel and begin filming a role in the upcoming film. While he didn't specify what he was doing, Bridges did portray Kevin Flynn in 2010's Tron Legacy. I'm heading off this Saturday to play a part in the third installment of the Tron story. I'm excited about that, Bridges said. It's wild. Jared Leto is the star of this third one, and I'm really anxious to work with him, and I've admired his work. Bridges went on to say that he's excited to see the set of the upcoming film, and he has heard that the practical effects in the film are beautiful. I'm anxious to see what the technology is and what it will be. I hear there's even less AI stuff in this, and it's going to be more of a practical set, and they're beautiful, and they are beautiful sets that I've seen. Good news, I think. I think Jeff Bridges' appearance in the second film, given the digital, I don't know if it was de-aging or deep fake, whichever format they used, but it was a very early attempt at recreating a person. I think it worked for me just because we knew that he was playing a caricature in a digital world, so I sort of let it slip. But yeah, I mean, it's no way around saying that it did look pretty bad. That technology has come a long way, so therefore, if they do any de-aging this time around, certainly he will look more or less jarring, less of that Canny Valley effect. But I'm glad to hear that he's coming back. For me, what that does is, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time looking into Tron Ares, but given the large gaps between the first two films and then having Bridges back, it just says to me that, yes, we're continuing the story. We're not trying to wash our hands of Tron Legacy or anything like that. So it provides that connection to the film, even if his role proves to be limited, which I think it probably will be, given how late he seems to be coming to the game. I like that it does say that, yes, Tron Legacy did happen. We're not trying to wash our hands of it or any kind of crap like that, which they often pull in cinema. I like the continuity of having Jeff Bridges there once again. Totally unrelated to Tron, but related to Jeff Bridges. Probably 20 years ago or so, my mother was a manager at a local Wendy's, and it was deer season here, which is practically a holiday in northeastern Pennsylvania, and none other than Jeff Bridges stepped up to the counter with a couple of his bodyguards behind him, and they'd come white-tailed deer hunting in northeastern Pennsylvania that year, and it was kind of neat. And of course, here she is, this older lady, and she's the manager, and of course she knows who Jeff Bridges is, but there's all these other people, young people, who were less informed about their cinema history, didn't apparently know who he was or weren't too impressed, but she thought it was pretty cool that she stood face to face with Jeff Bridges at the order counter and took his order for a burger and fries. I'm looking forward to this. I'm glad that it's happening. I'm glad it didn't take as many years as it took between the first two films. This is still a underutilized franchise or IP, if that can be said of any franchise. Yes, they could have stopped at one. It would have remained the legacy that it always had, but they've tried to bring it back, but yet it doesn't feel like this thing has ever really gotten fully on track, but perhaps this is the film that will hit, and if it does hit, that could open the doors to sort of have a full-blown Tron cinematic live-action universe. I think the material or the world lends itself well to possibly the TV format or the streaming format. I think there's some possibilities there, but probably not going to happen unless this goes over well. So I'm holding my breath, crossing my fingers, hoping that does prove to be the case, because I did like the second film. It was sort of sort of dark, mysterious, a little bit plotting at times. I know people don't like that, but I sort of like that vibe in some of my films. I completely understand why it didn't prove to be a major box office success. It's not, despite being high number of special effects, it's not necessarily completely typical of that type of summer blockbuster type film. I think it was a little bit more thoughtful than that, but it's also, despite being fairly mainstream, it's also a little bit more experimental than people perhaps would like. It wasn't quite paint by the numbers, in my opinion. And I like that. What will this next film be? I think there's a lot of possibilities sort of getting into this world, and we haven't really seen much beyond the grid, so there's a lot of possibilities. I'm hoping that they sort of break this whole thing wide open, and then with it being wide open, they use that possibility or that opportunity to then go off and explore some of these other corners of the world. It should work. I mean, if it was James Cameron, certainly it would have produced a couple of $2 to $3 billion films, but it's not. And we shall see what comes of it. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Tell us what you think in the comment section below. But I will see you again next time.